In the last video, we talked about the 4 pieces of your protection kit: base health insurance, super top-up, personal accident insurance and critical illness insurance. You also saw how they work like a batsman's pads, thigh pad, gloves and helmet, each protecting a different part of your financial body. In this video, we are going to answer a very practical question: how much protection do you actually need in each of these 4 areas? Most people pick cover amounts based on guesswork. Someone says, 5 lakh is enough, another says, 10 lakh is standard now, and people just copy those numbers without looking at their own reality. The result is either overconfidence or nasty surprises at claim time. What you need is not a perfect, scientific number, but a sensible range that respects where you live, how you live and who depends on you. Before I talk about the calculator I've built for you, let me quickly recap the use cases of each cover, because that will help you understand why the amount matters so much. Base health insurance as your first shield. It pays your hospital bills up to a chosen sum insured. This is what helps you handle typical hospitalizations without breaking your savings. Super top-up health insurance is the backup for really big bills. It activates once your expenses cross a certain level and gives you a much larger total cover for serious, high-cost events. Personal accident insurance is about your income, not just hospital bills. It pays a lump sum if an accident leads to death or disability that affects your ability to earn. Critical illness insurance is about the long-term fallout of major illnesses like certain cancers, heart attacks or strokes. It pays you a lump sum on diagnosis so that you can manage your income, MS and lifestyle while you focus on recovery. Now, think about what can change the right level of cover for these 4. The first big factor is your city. If you live in a large metro, you already know that a normal hospital room can cost what used to be the price of a full treatment in a smaller town. A 5-day stay in a mid-range private hospital in a metro can easily run into several lakh rupees. The same illness in a tier 2 or tier 3 city and a government or very basic hospital will cost much less. So the city and hospital environment you are in, or realistically want to use, directly affects how much health cover you need. If you live in a metro and choose a tiny cover just because it is cheaper, you are almost certainly underestimating the risk. The second factor is the type of hospital you prefer. Some people are okay with basic facilities and shared rooms. Others know that if something serious happens, they will want a reasonably comfortable private room, decent nursing care and good infrastructure. You have to be honest with yourself here. If in your heart you know you will not go to the cheapest hospital on the list when your spouse or child is in trouble, your cover must reflect the cost of the place you will actually choose, not the cheapest option on paper. The third factor is family size and structure. A single person in their late 20s has a different risk profile compared to a couple in their 40s with 2 children and dependent parents. Over a 10 to 15 year period, the chance that more than one person in the family will need medical attention is real. Your cover needs to be able to handle more than one claim over time, not just a single event. The more people in the family and the older they are, the more important it becomes to have a solid combination of base cover and super top-up. Existing cover is another important piece. You might already have some employer-provided group cover, or a small individual policy you bought years ago. This is useful, but it may not be enough. The calculator I have created for you allows you to enter any existing cover so that it can suggest how much additional protection you should aim for, rather than simply ignoring what you already have. And then there is the silent factor most people forget: future medical inflation. Medical costs do not respect your salary increments. They tend to grow faster. A cover amount that feels generous today can feel very small 10 or 15 years from now. If you are in your 30s or early 40s, you are not buying cover only for the next year. You are protecting yourself for a long innings. So the cover you aim for has to stretch beyond today's costs and give you a buffer for tomorrow's prices. Trying to juggle all these factors in your head is difficult. That is why people fall back on random numbers. To avoid that, I have built a required cover calculator for you as part of this kit. It is available as an Excel or Google sheet. When you open it, you will see that all you really have to do is enter a few straightforward inputs: your city category, the type of hospital you would realistically use, how many family members you want to cover, details of any existing health insurance, and a reasonable assumption for future medical cost inflation. Once you feed in these details, the calculator will suggest ideal or at least sensible cover amounts for all 4 types of cover: your base health insurance, your super top-up, your personal accident cover, and your critical illness cover. If you are comfortable with basic Excel or Google Sheets, I strongly encourage you to download the calculator and try this yourself. It will make the numbers feel more real and you will see how different assumptions change the required cover. But I also know that not everyone enjoys working with spreadsheets, and that is perfectly fine. For those of you who prefer a simpler route, I have created a Google form with the same questions. You can simply fill that form, and then my team and I will run your inputs through the calculator at the end and share the suggested cover amounts for each of the 4 covers with you. I want to be very clear about one thing. The numbers you get from this calculator are not 100% personalized advice in the legal sense. I have not seen your medical reports or your full financial picture. What the calculator gives you is a strong, realistic starting point that is far better than guesswork or copying a friend's policy. It helps you avoid ridiculous underinsurance, like trying to protect a metro family of 4 with 3 lakh rupees of cover, and it gives us a common language when we later talk about your premium freedom plan in the one-to-one call. Once you have your calculator results, you will know, roughly, what size of pads and thigh pad you need financially, how much base health cover you should be looking at, how high your super top-up should go, and what ballpark amounts make sense for your personal accident and critical illness covers. Keep those numbers handy. You can note them down, or simply keep the email or file where they are stored, because we will refer to them again. In the next module, we will shift from, how much protection do I need, to, how do I fund all of this in a smart, regret-free way. This is where I will introduce you to the Premium Freedom Blueprint and the Health Wealth Loop. You'll see how a simple combination of health insurance and SIPs, designed over 7 or 12 years, can be used so that over time your investments are meant to pay these premiums, not just your salary, and why that changes how you feel about health insurance completely.